The Federal and Devaki Specialty Hospital jointly present the Madurai Marathon 2024 Run for Health on Sunday, October 20th, 2024. Entry is free for all.
Ratan Tata was an industrialist whose contributions spanned multiple industries but whose impact on aviation was particularly transformative. From his early piloting days to spearheading India's acquisition of Air India, Tata's vision reshaped India's aviation landscape. To delve deeper into this, we have with us a senior journalist with extensive knowledge of the aviation sector, Giri Prakash. We'll explore how Ratan Tata's efforts influenced Indian aviation and what his legacy means for the industry. Giri, thank you for joining. Actually, the Tata Group's acquisition of Air India was a monumental moment in Indian aviation. It marked the return of Air India to its original founders after decades of being run by state. So, what do you think were Ratan Tata's key motivations behind regaining Air India, and how do you believe this acquisition aligns with his vision for India's aviation future?
Uh, so the government of India decided to privatize Air India, and that was seen as one of the hallmarks of the current government, the ruling party, and it was as everyone knows it was something that the government of India kept spending money, but nothing got nothing in return, and it was like a you know. It was like a leaking kind of investment, and the government made no money at all in spite of spending a whole lot of they kept pumping in investment into this venture, and everybody assumed that privatization would be one thing that will actually turn it around. But see what happened. Air India is still a leaking bucket, and they are unable to turn it around. There are a whole lot of cases of how mismanaged Air India's operations are. In-flight services is pathetic. You have complaints almost on an hourly basis. In spite of having bought the airline, it the problems still haven't been fixed. Of course, these people keep making a lot of claims saying that we'll do it this year, next year, we are going to come up with newer aircraft and all that. But that's not the issue here. When you can run Vistara so well, why can't you run Air India? Same management. What is the thing that has gone wrong with Air India? So this is something that needed to be checked, and which has not happened. How long it will take for them to see that Air India renders superior service is something nobody can. Everyone doesn't know when it will happen. Now Vistara is going to merge with Air India, and it will become part of that, and then. Actually, the country's the best run airline is going to be part of the country's worst run airline, and what it will do to the customers, one doesn't know. One needs to really, it's very important for the management to sit down and think why this is happening. Okay, we don't have many airlines in India, and if such a big airline India actually suffers and goes down, it will be hard to get a few more airlines on the tarmac. And more or less, Air India was given on a platter to the Tata Sons, and unfortunately, they didn't come good.
With the rise of low-cost carriers and the increasing demand for air travel, India's aviation sector has been growing rapidly. Tata's ventures, like you mentioned, Vistara, have taken a premium approach to this competitive market. In what ways do you believe Ratan Tata contributed to the growth of India's aviation industry, and how has his leadership in ventures like Vistara actually set a benchmark for premium airline services?
As far as Vista is concerned, there was a joint venture with Singapore Airlines, and actually they took care of that, and therefore rendered superior service as far as Vista is concerned, and uh, and that was a very good thing to happen. When it came to AirAsia India, it was virtually run by AirAsia Berhad of Malaysia, and it was a low-cost airline. It had its problems, but nothing like the way like that of Air India. And Air India was totally run by Tata Sons, by the Tata Group management. All right, they were the ones who picked up the CEO. They were the ones who picked up the top management people. They shed a lot of weight by letting go of a lot of employees, and they also placed order for a record number of aircraft, and they did all those things. But when it came to service, and one always assumed that Tata Sons, the kind of service offering, the kind of reputation they have. Please understand, Tata Sons also run a hospitality chain, right? So hospitality comes naturally to them. Service of the customers comes naturally to them. It is part of their genes. Why they did not replicate it in Air India is something nobody has been able to find out.
My last question is Ratan Tata's contribution to aviation are often, seen as setting a foundation for future growth. So, looking ahead, how do you see Ratan Tata's aviation legacy influencing the future of the sector in India, particularly in terms of innovation, competition, and global positioning?
Um, as long as Ratan Tata was there, there's always a good chance that it will turn around. There's always a good chance that things will get better. And everybody, whenever things went wrong, whenever there was a major customer complaint, one thought that there is Ratan Tata there, and then somehow things will turn around, some things will get better. Now that Mr. Ratan Tata is no longer there, I'm not so sure what's going to happen to the airline. As I said earlier, Tata Sons have the Tata Group has lost a pivot with the passing away of Mr. Tata, and therefore one needs to see how this merger will happen. What exactly? So the father figure is no longer there. The man with a very clean reputation, uh, a man whom everybody looked up to, not just the Tata Group companies, CEO, employees, but a whole lot of other businesses, whole lot of other corporates. They also looked up to him. So actually, India has just not lost a business magnate. They have lost someone whom everybody, they have actually lost a father figure, and then it won't just affect the impact the Tata Sons group companies, but it could also affect other business houses. He was always a reference point. He's no longer there, and the worst will affected will be the airline business of the Tatas.
The Federal and Devaki Specialty Hospital jointly present the Madurai Marathon 2024 Run for Health on Sunday, October 20th, 2024. Entry is free for all.